Who here hasn't been to space?
Why?
You better not throw up on my ship.
Approaching jump in 3, 2, 1.
Here, this is the last topic that we had, and it was just JoBlo and their support, them in support of recast T'Challa. I'm not going to make this long and winded. I won't make it long and winded or anything like that. But I am going to share. I'm going to share these images here. So JoBlo posted on their Twitter. I think it was, and I can't remember. I think Terrell Austin. Shout out Terrell. Terrell tagged me in this. Terrell tagged me in this on Twitter, and I saw this, and this is something that we've all seen before. This is something we've all talked about before, and that is what Chadwick's brother said. And I'll go ahead and read it for those, because there are so many people that come into the space of Recast T'Challa that are always like, hey, shut up. You guys don't know what you're talking about. You don't know Chadwick. You don't know his family. You don't know what his family would have wanted. Right. We don't know what his family would have wanted. I may not know Derrick Boseman, but Derrick Boseman has spoken.
I'm going off what's been given.
On what he said. See, where you're coming from with that argument is you're coming with that argument of just because you, again, have your obsession with a 2018 film and Chadwick and burying the character with Chadwick, you don't care what Derrick said.
Right.
You know what they know what Derrick said, but because it goes against their agenda for Black Panther, they refuse to acknowledge it. Just like they refuse to acknowledge the interview that Chadwick did where he said it's debilitating, it's frightening, it pins us against one another. Yeah. We all know the interview. We know but they refuse to acknowledge that because it goes against, it's fact that goes against your silly stance.
Exactly.
So you've got JoBlo that came out and said, and I'll read it for everybody that maybe you don't know what Derrick said. So let me go ahead and put it out there. It said, this is from JoBlo that said, movie trivia, Wakanda Forever 2022. Now JoBlo has supported Recast T'Challa in the past too. This is not new from JoBlo. JoBlo has said things about the recast crowd and in support of Recast T'Challa from the beginning. But they shared this yesterday and said Chadwick Boseman's brother Derrick Boseman has spoken out against the idea of retiring the character of T'Challa rather than recasting. He believes that his brother would not have been so egotistical as to wanting the character to die with him and would instead want the character's journey to continue. Again, so when people come in and you say you don't know him, okay, I don't. You're right. I'll give you that. Go the fuck off. But his brother does.
But boom.
And the fact that you could think that Chadwick Boseman was so narcissistic to believing that that character had to die with him shows me that you also don't know Chadwick Boseman. I don't know Chadwick Boseman, but I've watched several interviews with Chadwick Boseman. And I've listened to the things that he said. I've listened to him speak. I've listened to his wants. I've listened to him not come out and specifically say, because there's no interview where he specifically says, if I go or if something happens, recast the character of T'Challa. Right. But he has in interviews spoken on the importance of the character of T'Challa. He has said how important the character is and this and this and that, and it needs to live on, whether it be him or not.
Right.
So when you see things like this, and the reason I'm bringing JoBlo into it, because this is a credible a reviewer, insider, trade. Yeah, this is JoBlo coming in saying, hey, this is what Derrick Boseman is saying his brother would have wanted.
But let's be real, Charmin, I can't speak, but it's been about a month since the movie's been out. And I think it's time for all of us to get real about it.
That's why I said I posted that. So I'm glad you even brought that up.
I think it's just time for us to get real about it.
Thank you for saying that.
Why? Everyone, I'm still so confused on how people sat in that theater, got up and left and
called it cute.
That movie was so cute, and I just think it honored. What?
Yeah.
No one thought that was weird. I was not married to this man. But if you go back and look at our videos on this topic, I'm constantly bringing up Simone. I'm constantly bringing up his wife, because how? I'm just so confused on. I would be throwing a fit. Yeah. I would be like, this is weird.
I often wonder how she sat through the first 2 minutes. I often wonder. I really do. I want to know. And I don't know if she's ever going to come out and say anything about it.
And I watched that interview that she did.
Oh, so okay, you've seen it. I still haven't seen it.
I did, and they brought up the movie. But they didn't talk about the movie.
Of course, because I'm sure she's not going to. Because I don't think
she supports it. I don't honestly think she supports it.
I don't think we're ever going to hear her come out and say anything negative about it.
No.
Not that Simone. I just think that's not her thing. She probably wants fucking peace, bro.
At this point.
I've never come out and you'll never hear me say I want Simone to come out and speak on, because she doesn't need to. In my opinion, she doesn't need to. We're still talking about a woman. Yeah, for us, you can say it's been 2 years, but for Simone, you can't say it's been 2 years.
It probably just feels like 2 days for her.
Yeah, you can't say that for Simone. So I don't expect, and I have no expectations for Simone to come out, and I'm not, and I also don't want to make it seem like I'm ever trying to pressure Simone or anybody to come. If you, that's her. Shows. She knew him.
But
that's her. That's her husband.
Going back to what we just said, I'm going off of what is given to me, and what's given to me is that she's not feeling it.
Yeah.
That's just
you
my
watched it,
opinion.
so I didn't. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
And that's just my personal opinion. You know what I mean? And I do often feel like sometimes, not sometimes, yes, sometimes no. I think Nate Moore and Ryan Coogler knew they fucked up.
Oh, they knew.
I think they're getting to the point where they know they fucked up, and they know that they shouldn't have gatekeeped this character.
And that's why I said I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said the whole that you fucked up and things like that.
Yeah, because I just.
And has it been enough time?
It's been enough time. I think everyone needs to be real about this movie. I think it was weird. It was too close to home.
Yeah, because see, I put on Twitter the other day. This is what I put on Twitter the other day. I said from JoBlo. Let me make sure I find it. Okay. After I shared the post from JoBlo, I said, yet another credible trade speaks on Recast T'Challa. Is 5 weeks enough time to be real about Wakanda Forever? Are y'all ready to really talk about Wakanda Forever? And I'm not talking about your whole place of your feelings. I'm talking about put your feelings to the side and let's be real about Wakanda Forever.
I don't think we're going to be real about it until it's like a year or two. Until people have time to sit back and go back and rewatch it and be like, whoa.
But there are so many people that are so unwilling to take an L. That are so unwilling to admit when they're wrong.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And I'm not trying to be right or that's the Q said it best the other night. It's not about being right. It's not about being wrong. It's simply about seeing someone else's plight, being empathetic to what we are saying when we scream Recast T'Challa, because it's never what people come in thinking at face value, thinking that you're being misogynistic or you're being selfish. No, Marvel was being selfish.
Yeah,
we're not being selfish. I'm telling you, I want to see a character that I've been. Not only that, we got a comment from an older viewer in our last recast video that said, I appreciate you guys talking about us older viewers because I've been reading these comics since I was a kid. So when I bring up stuff like the civil rights movement, or I bring up people like Theo B or whatever, those are people that have been reading these comics since well before we were a thought.
Yeah.
Well before the MCU was a thought.
Exactly.
So it's not selfish when they come in and say, hey, I want to see a character that I've loved before the MCU.
Right.
That I've loved before the hashtag. That I've loved before Chadwick Boseman. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So.
And then to be honest with you, because there'll be, for example, I want to say yesterday it was the anniversary for the trailer being dropped for
Endgame. It was
Endgame.
the 4-year anniversary.
Yeah, and so there was obviously a shot of each of the main characters, and there was one of Chadwick / T'Challa, and I look at those pictures and I look at it and I go, oh, that's Black Panther. I don't go, oh, that's I appreciate the person who brought this character to life, and I appreciate what they did. But at the end of the day, I just feel like this also is just showing people's mindset and how they perceive and view the world. I don't go into movies and to shows being obsessed with the actress. I go in there being obsessed with the character. If you play a character so well that I'm obsessed with who you are in real life, that tells me something. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Wednesday. I don't know if you've seen that show.
Yeah.
I've never really been a Jenna Ortega fan, but after I watched Wednesday, I was like, well, now I need to know everything about her life and what she's been into.
Right.
Because if she killed this part so well, I'm pretty sure she's going to kill every part. You know what I mean? It's just what the actual person brings to that character. And I just feel like people are not they don't want to separate the two.
They don't. And it's that weird conversation.
It is.
And then, one of the last video we did on it was when we were talking about the box office. I had somebody in the comments telling me, stop trying to make up numbers. Okay, you're right. Let me not make up numbers since I'm making up numbers. I don't know where I would pull these numbers from to make them up, but since I'm making up numbers, let's go to the source here, okay? Yeah. This is from Culture Crave that tweeted this out 11 hours ago. And in this tweet, it lays out for you the top 10 movies, the highest grossing top 10 movies of the year. Mm-hmm. Wakanda Forever
is not on that list.
Oh no, it's on here.
Oh, is it?
It's at the number that I said it was fucking at. So I'm not making up numbers. I'm not pulling something out of my ass. It's tracking behind Thor, Love and Thunder, and Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange made 955 million. Thor, Love and Thunder made 760 million. Right now, Wakanda Forever is at 735 million. So when you come into these spaces,
come correct.
I need to look at the camera for this one. When you come into these spaces, and you come in and you've only watched 2 minutes, maybe 20 seconds, if anything, of one of our recast videos, and you come in with inaccurate information, you look silly. You make your argument, everything you stand on, look silly. As an anti-recaster, you can have your feelings. I'm not saying you can't feel like, oh, they shouldn't have recast. You're valid to have your feelings. Your feelings are your feelings, just like my feelings are my feelings. But when you come in inaccurate, saying, oh, stop making up numbers. No. It's like Hove said, numbers don't lie. Check the motherfucking scoreboard. 955 million from Doctor Strange, 760 from Thor, 735 from Wakanda Forever. So I'm not making shit up.
No.
I can't make a number up. I'm telling you what the number fucking is. It was never doing the numbers you all thought it was.
It was never going to. And it's been, like you said, it's been 5 weeks, and this is the number. If it's treading behind Thor, Love and Thunder, and Thor, Love and Thunder has been out for fucking months.
It's treading behind Jurassic World, and we all know how terrible
Jurassic World.
I watched Jurassic World. I fell asleep the first time. Tried to watch the second time, couldn't get through it. And I love dinosaurs. I love Jurassic Park. It's tracking behind Jurassic Park. It's tracking behind the Batman.
Yeah.
It's tracking behind Minions.
Yeah.
So, but everybody was saying, "Oh no, this is gonna be a huge hit for
But that's
Marvel."
the thing. That's what I'm saying. All these movies have been out for months, and this movie just came out maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago.
It's like I said.
It was never gonna do what you guys thought.
It was
all you
never doing that.
It was never gonna do what you thought it was going to do. And another side note, as Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness should be trending, because I don't care what anyone says, you can shit on that movie all you want. It was a fantastic fucking movie, and I watch it all the time. So
yeah, Wakanda Forever. Like I said, it was never doing that. So I think, again, I say this, I feel like every video. Keep your motherfucking Twitter fingers to yourself, because again, you sound ignorant as fuck. Stop coming in not knowing what the fuck you're talking about.
Like, if we're gonna sit here and argue, give me something for real to
argue. For real.
With.
Why would I come up here and accurately give you numbers that you could easily look up for yourself?
Exactly.
Clearly, when you commented after watching 20 seconds of the video, you didn't Google, you didn't fact check yourself.
Exactly.
Fact check shit. Stop just believing That's why, again, for everybody telling me, why did you have to go see? Because I can't go off of word of mouth from someone else.
Go see, whether I wanted to see it or not, I had.
Yes, whether or not I wanted to see it became irrelevant.
Yeah.
I have a YouTube channel. I have people that are wanting to see my thoughts and reviews on things or whatever. So it would have been irresponsible of me to get up here, continue to shit on Wakanda Forever, and I hadn't seen it.
Right.
I needed to see the film, then get my disdain for the film. Then I could come up here and accurately tell you give you facts of what I thought. But I would have never sat up here and continued to shit on Wakanda Forever without seeing the film
without
first.
having the knowledge. Yeah.
So, nah, bruh. Come into this shit with fact. Come into this shit with merit.
It's not like you just didn't see the comics, you know what I mean? Everything that's going on behind it. So it's not like, again, you're just sitting up here and just shitting.
Blowing smoke.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that anyway. And when I know that you can go fact check me. What?
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, the shit that I'm saying, the shit that I get up here and say about Recast or whenever we have these conversations, I'm giving you fact. I'm not giving... Now, when I go on my little passionate, louder rants, sometimes that's a lot of that stuff is somewhat my feeling for the character. But when I'm giving you number facts, when I'm talking about articles, when I'm talking about what Coogler said or what I'm giving you exactly.
Yes.
I'm giving you fact. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
So again, when you come in spaces, when you look at the numbers, and I don't have to sit here and continue to tell you 735 is the number because it's Culture Crave's telling you that that's the number.
It's right there, boo.
It's right there. You can go look it up. You can go look it up on it's on I think it's Box Office Mojo.
Yeah.
It's right there.
It's right there.
But instead you want to pull a number out of your ass and inaccurately comment on my shit and then tell me I'm wrong. So yeah, no. It was always going to do what the fuck it did. Yep. It was never going to do what anyone thought it was going to do because the character of T'Challa was not in it. Somebody commented, and I'm sure she's going to watch because she seems to comment on all of our shit. Oh. Sue's Contours or whatever the fuck her name is.
Oh yeah?
Shout out. She came in today and said,
you're
some
lucky,
ignorant dumbass shit.
He gave you a shout out, sis, because he usually would not give you the time of day.
She said, Wakanda Forever didn't play in China and is still successful. The first BP played in China and was successful. Why the fuck are you telling me shit I know?
Like, okay.
Not only that, you were wrong in your first sentence. You were right on the first part. Wakanda Forever didn't play in China. We know that.
Yeah.
But to say it's successful, you're wrong. By whose measure? By your standards, no. It's successful? Because I can tell you by Marvel standards, Marvel can get out here and say whatever the fuck they want to say. Marvel can get out here and say that it's a success, it's worldwide, it's this and this and that, blah, 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 blah. Do all the commercials, do the best, it's the best picture. Oh, they can get, just like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson got up here and lied to y'all the other day and said that Black Adam's profitable. No, the fuck it ain't. Black Adam ain't doing shit.
But sitting there.
It's a great film, but it ain't doing shit.
It's not doing anything.
So, just like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson lied for his own personal preference, Marvel can lie for their own personal preference. Stop believing everything that this studio tells you. Marvel is not above reproach.
Yeah,
Stop thinking that they can't be touched.
Yeah.
That shit is so weird to me.
Like, they can still come out here and lie to your face and make up shit just like any and everybody else can.
Yeah, bro. Like, it's just that's what it is. That's what it is. Like,
and I think it's crazy how this movie dropped, and then what was it? Sometime this week or last week that it was like all over where Marvel is officially slowing down timelines and taking a step back and like redoing I think it's really. I don't think it's a coincidence that that's a thing. I don't think it's a coincidence that we ended this phase with this movie. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a coincidence that they're taking the time to step back and to reevaluate everything because whether you like it or not, like T'Challa is a big step into what we're moving into, which is Secret Wars. So I don't know. I don't think it's a coincidence at all.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Professor Film Fan made a very good point. He said, why do people get so offended when someone says they didn't like Wakanda Forever? Because to them, you are shitting on Chadwick Boseman's legacy. But I'd say the opposite. Mm-hmm. When you sit here and negate what Chadwick Boseman himself wanted, you're shitting on his legacy.
Right.
Because a better way to honor that man, I've said so many times, would to be to do a special, a 2020 special or something like that, or take the beginning Marvel logo intro that you did and how you had it in silence at the beginning, put that in front of the next few years for Marvel. You want to honor Chad? Let me ask this: all the children's hospitals and foundations he was a part of, have they seen any profit from Wakanda Forever? Are they gonna see any profit from Wakanda Forever? Because you're honoring Chadwick, right?
Right.
You're honoring Chadwick.
Right.
So are you going to honor him by doing the things that he was a part of? Or are you going to give to the Chadwick Boseman Foundation? Or are you just going to keep that money to line your pockets again, like the 1.3 bill first did?
Right.
Like so again, miss me. So when I'm not no little kid, bro.
Right.
You can't just tell me to believe something and I'm gonna believe it. Like I'm gonna do my own research. I'm gonna fact check shit. I'm gonna make sure that what I'm going to possibly repeat is truthful. And if I do, or I'm not going to repeat what you're saying. But see, y'all come in here believing
Just
that
anything.
Marvel is this god.
Yeah.
That they
Like
what
they
they
can't
say
mess
is
up.
law.
Yeah.
And then y'all just run with that shit. If Marvel told you to eat shit, y'all do it.
Y'all would do it.
Eat shit, or we're not giving you another film. You do it.
Man, I'd be like, whew, that was a good run, y'all. That was a good run.
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying. And like Marvelous D said, I'm over Black Death. I'm over Black Death.
I'm over Black.
As I said, that's why I'm not gonna go see Emancipation. It's not because I don't support. Y'all just heard me go on about the ancestry stuff. It's not because I don't support our people. It ain't because our stories aren't important.
I've just been hit with it.
It's because I'm sick of black trauma being told for viewers' entertainment.
Oh man.
Like, there's so many movies out there involving slavery that you can go watch if you need to be entertained in the comfort of your own fucking home.
Yes.
But while you're being entertained, be educated.
Yeah.
Know that that's traumatic to watch that, bro. I don't want to watch that shit.
I know. Will Smith just came on his Instagram today and was like, "Oh, we know that just because it's on Apple Plus." So I talked to Apple Plus, and they decided to give everyone 2 free months of Apple Plus so you can go watch the movie.
Fuck your Apple Plus. Fuck your 2 months.
I don't want to watch that.
No.
I'm good on that, bro.
No, bro. Like, I don't get me wrong. Have I seen Roots? Yes. Have I seen 12 Years a Slave? Yes. Have I seen Rosewood and a lot of those other slave? Yes, I've seen them.
I just got done seeing
I want to say I've seen just about all of them.
I just got done watching the movie, the Emmett Till movie.
I'm not, because I know Emmett Till's story.
I know Emmett Till. I wanted to watch it because I wanted to see the mom's side of the story. Yeah, I wanted to see it, and it was good.
And I watched the Hulu. I watched the Hulu series, a woman of the movement or something. I think it was called. I watched that one, but I know the Emmett Till story, and that's just that's the thing though. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with these movies. I'm not saying that, because again, I appreciate 12 Years a Slave, Solomon Northup's story being told. I appreciate it. That's great.
I think these
Roots and you know, with Kizzy and Chicken George and Kunta Kinte, it's great seeing those stories. It's sad, but it's also good to know our people's history.
Exactly. But
at what point do we say we get it?
Yeah.
At what point do we say 400 plus years you're still making these movies, but y'all still don't give a fuck about the stories that you're coming out of watching? You still don't give a fuck about the plight of the black community.
And that's my thing. Nowadays, it's just anything that's black involved. It's either death, it's about slavery, it's about big booty hoes, it's about us. If it's comedy, it's about us being high. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that's just.
Every time you watch anything from our people from the past, we are the help. We're
yes.
Anytime you watch us in movies, not just the past, we're the help, the absentee father,
like there's
the drug dealer,
there's very few
the villain.
Like shows on hand that you can list that were just like good comedy, black people just being joyous and black joy, you know what I mean? And it just wasn't surrounded by death or sadness. Like, I'm tired, like you said.
It's exhausting. It's exhausting, and it's just like I'm not here for it.
Yeah.
I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
Like I said, especially I'm gonna keep saying this. I don't give a fuck who it pisses off. Especially in a Marvel movie.
In a Marvel movie.
And I've said this time and time again too. For the people that want to play on thinking that we're unintelligent, I guess, or you can spin that shit with some people, but you can't spin that shit with me when you say, well, again, I've said this, Phase 4 is about grief. We're about to watch Guardians of the Galaxy in Phase 5. It's still going to be dealing with grief. We saw everybody dealing with grief in Phase 4. If you, again, sit up here and tell me that and if you want to really call that grief, cool. And now you can call everything Wanda went through on her journey. She was grieving.
Yeah,
that's
grieving.
But again, it ain't the same.
It's not the same.
That's a fantasy story that Wanda's going through.
Yeah.
Those are fantasy children. That's a fantasy husband of hers, an android husband that almost died. Right. You know, that did die. That's fantasy shit.
Right.
What you did with Chadwick, as I showed from Fandom Wire the other day, with the money going below Chadwick's picture on the thumbnail, talking about Wakanda Forever's making so much money. That's what I mean. You've even brainwashed other like insiders and trades and other and YouTubers that are anti-recast into making imagery like that and thinking it's acceptable and thinking that by me screaming I'm honoring Chad that I can post pictures of Chadwick Boseman in the Black Panther suit and making money rain around him.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's weird. It's weird, and I think it's weirder how no one, like, the more people that are shouting how weird it is, the louder the other side. It's like, no, it's not. What?
It doesn't make, like I said, bro, you'll never convince me.
What?
You'll never convince me. I'm not one of these weak-minded motherfuckers out here where you're going to tell me that, well, we dealt with grief. No, you might have dealt with grief, but that's not the same.
Here's my, and this, I'm gonna say this. 2 days ago, I just told you guys this, I literally I just got called the N-word. You think I'm gonna go home and the first thing I'm gonna do to make myself feel good is sit down and watch Wakanda Forever? Because that's not gonna make me feel, you know what I mean? Like you said, when I go into these Marvel movies,
fantasy in general,
when I go into these fantasy movies and shows, I'm not trying to be reminded of what's going on in my real life. I'm not trying to be reminded of like how the world perceives me. I'm trying to be reminded of what I should be perceiving in myself. And I think that's why I've always connected to Marvel. And I've again, if you go back to the past videos, I'm a huge Stan Lee simp because that was his whole motive, is anyone and everyone can be a superhero. And so when I go into these movies, I want to feel like I'm a part of these movies. Like I am Iron Man. Fuck it. Like, what you talking about? I am Iron Man. The Wakanda Forever, I'm not that. I'm not that.
And it's not and like I said, as far as the Black Panther franchise goes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as I've said before, I'm done. I'm done until T'Challa is back on screen. For you people screaming, because I can already see the comment coming. T'Challa is on screen. TJ,
no.
You got the recast you wanted. Again, your ignorance is showing. That's not a recast.
That's not a recast.
That's a new character. That's a new character that's been introduced to the MCU. Yeah, like that's not a recast. So with what you've done to Wakanda, because Wakanda was nerfed. With what you've done to the people of Wakanda, with what you've done to the leader, the franchise's main character,
is bullshit.
It's a hard fucking pass for me.
Yeah. I really, and I don't believe you if they would have came out, if they didn't even come out, if they would have just recasted him and just pushed it forward, I don't think we would be in this conversation.
There'd still be a conversation because there'd be people that would be like, they shouldn't have now, would we be having these immersive ass conversations about it? Probably not.
But I think we would all get over it. I personally think, there would have been a conversation, but it wouldn't have blown up to what it is now. I think they would have, if they would have recasted someone who would have played the character the way the character should have been played, or not should have, but could have been played, then no, I think it would have been a small conversation, and then in a couple weeks they would have moved on.
Yeah, no, it would have been,
because we're all adults,
been a smaller conversation,
and we all understand that when, you know what I mean, the show must go on.
It's kind of like Cleve 17 said. He said it's crazy because if T'Challa was in BP2, we wouldn't even have to talk about this. That's to line up with what you just said there. The conversation, I believe, still would be happening. It wouldn't be happening on this level, but it would still be happening because you still have people like, oh, they shouldn't have done that, blah, 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 blah. But it's also like he said, we'd still be seeing this movie. I would have seen this movie by now if it was the story that you were originally going to tell. Because I saw the first Black Panther, no exaggeration, in film in the theater 16 times. I saw it 16 times.
I'm not putting that past you.
Wakanda Forever, that shit ain't getting played for free in my living room.
No.
Like, there's no way. That's what I mean. We would still be going to see this film. Conversation would still be talking about how great the film was, and if it's this, it wouldn't be sitting at $735 million. It's sitting there because why? Because it's like I said in the last video, you have older viewers that have been loving this franchise. That was the appeal of the audience that you touched the first time around.
Exactly.
It was a cultural movement. You had people waiting to go see this film that finally got to see the character. You dangled him in their face. And then said, you psych. We're going to inject our feelings. We're going to inject our morbid adaptation of what Chadwick wanted, because I've said this before too. Another way to honor him, since you want to use the word honor so much, would be to take the man's last piece of work. His last piece of work was that motherfucking script. You took that script, something I'm sure he poured his heart into, and the reason I say he poured his heart into it is because Chadwick was not numb or dumb to the fact that he was fading.
Yeah.
That he was leaving.
Yeah. I think he knew he wasn't going to make it to the second.
So he knew that. So he poured his heart, I'm sure, and soul into a character he knew held so much importance in cultural importance. But you took that script.
Yeah.
You crumbled it up, threw it to the side, and said, I have a better story. How about we take Chad's death and throw Wakanda around it?
And then just call it a day.
And then, like they say in the Andor trailer, I love using this one, because the Andor trailer, when Andor's watching the Empire, he said, look at them. They're so fat and proud of themselves. That's Marvel right now.
Yeah.
They are so fat and proud of themselves. They think that they released a masterpiece. They really believe they released, and then they have motherfuckers brainwashed and believing, yeah, you released a masterpiece. So no, bro. Again, numbers don't lie. JoBlo, yet another credible insider comes out and supports, because again, we're getting there. 5 weeks. Conversation's starting to shift. I said this before the film. I said, once the film comes out, people are going to have their high feelings of, oh, it was so honorable, and oh, there were going to be people like that. There were going to be people that came out and said, nah, bruh.
Yeah.
Nah. There were going to be people that, like myself, that were already pro recast before sitting down, that already knew what it was. But now that we're in week 5, more and more people are starting to say, no.
Yeah.
Fuck your movie. This doesn't feel right. Let's take it back to what Soups said at the very beginning. I know a lot of people don't really care for Matt. I don't mind Matt. I don't think Matt has done anything wrong for me.
Right.
But Matt said, I watched Wakanda Forever, but something just didn't sit right. Charlemagne the God came out and said, why was nobody at the king's funeral? You had other celebrities and other people coming out and saying different things about it.
I mean,
the conversation shifting.
Didn't even Angela Bassett
yes,
come out and say...
Angela Bassett came out and
said like,
why are you killing Ramonda? People are going to be so hurt. Because as I've said before, after she said that, and after things that she said, I'm a firm believer, Angela's not stupid.
No.
Angela's not stupid.
I know for a fact she had to look at that script and be like,
I'm sure she did. She's married to also a strong black man too. I'm sure they both looked at that script like, the fuck? But at the same time, like I said, I'm sure she was pro recast. I'm sure she was, because after she came out and said the things that she said to Ryan Coogler, how she was like, she objected to killing Queen Ramonda because it was completely unnecessary. That was the moment, and the film, I said, fuck this shit.
No, he literally walked out.
I'm leaving. Out. This shit is ridiculous, bro. And then you had Riri Williams say, oh, my dad died. I was like, god damn. Everybody fucking black is dead.
Like
everybody's black dad. Somebody's dying. And I don't understand the obsession with it. And then
we kept the son away from the dad because
more tropes.
I was just like,
more tropes.
Why wouldn't you want him there? Well, we didn't know what people would say. Everyone knew y'all was together. Everyone knew y'all was bumping bumps.
Yeah.
I don't think no one would be surprised. Well, we didn't want to pressure him as the king. Well, if we knew he was gonna die, it just doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. You guys kept him away so that he wouldn't have the pressures of becoming a king, just for your king to fall and for him to turn around and be a king.
It does. It contradicts the first film. It just doesn't make sense. The Killmonger scene, as I said when we were reading the plot leaks months ago, ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, even the what is her name? The actress that played Shuri.
Letitia Wright.
Yes. Wasn't there problems with her? Wasn't she opposed with the script too? Wasn't she having problems on
She was opposed to this whole thing. She didn't think the movie should be made.
Right. So that should have told you something right there.
She didn't think, but see, the thing with Letitia though, because the thing with Letitia was she didn't think the movie should be made because to respect Chadwick Boseman. That's why she thought the movie shouldn't have been made. She wasn't. Letitia's never been on the side of Recast. The recent interview.
Is that what it was? I thought it was more like she just didn't agree with the script.
No, she didn't agree with this movie. She wasn't vaccinated, so it halted production to where, you know, and things like that. She at one point she was interacting with people on Twitter. You know, things have since been deleted and things, but she was interacting with people on Twitter. She commented back to someone on Twitter and said she didn't think the film should be. I mean, like she's coming from a place of Chadwick's her brother, and she knew the man, so hell,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not sitting knocking her.
But that just makes me think.
But
now
it still should have been recasted.
I mean, yes, but now that everything has happened and everything's out there in the open, it does make me think, like, does some of these feelings, probably yes, because that Chadwick was like a brother to her, but two, like, you can't sit there and tell me this group of people that were so close to him and to Ryan.
Yes, like Planet Poppy said, she had a burner account. Yeah, she did.
Oh, okay. You can't sit there and tell me that they probably saw that original script, knew that original script was getting thrown out, got this second script. You know what I mean? Like, you can't... I just don't believe that they weren't really in the known. You know what I mean? And
I don't know. And the reason I say I don't know is because every person outside of...
Because the only person that seems like they're excited about this movie when they do interviews is the guy that played Namor.
And that's because he's new. You know, Tanakh don't know what's going on. He just knows he's getting to play Namor.
And that's exciting for him. But like, if you go and look at the interviews, you know what I mean? It just like the vibe is different. The vibe is off. It's not there. It doesn't seem like it's something that they're truly.
Help me out, chat, because I forgot. I forget. What's the dude's name? Because I don't care right now. I'm sorry. My mind is the dude's name that plays CIA agent or what's his name? What is his name? Martin. What's his name? Help me. His interview was the only interview from anyone in the cast. Martin Freeman. Thank you, Martin Freeman. Martin Freeman's interview was the only interview where he wanted to say, but he's under contract at that time, he couldn't say. But you could tell from his wording, he wanted to say, hey, y'all might want to stay home. Y'all might want to stay home.
Okay.
He was the only one. Winston Duke is still to this day telling us, oh, T'Challa will be back. You got Lupita. Said the shit she said. We covered that video. What she said. You got Letitia Wright saying the shit she just recently said. Not recently, but a couple months before the film came out. I think it was Van Latham she was speaking with. The shit that she said. None of them were pro recast. None of them.
No.
Martin Freeman, I'll give him. Angela Bassett, I'll give her. But the rest of them,
they were not. Thought
that T'Challa needed to die with Chadwick. Because like Letitia said, at the end of the day, we still got to honor Big Bro. Honor Big Bro. But you don't honor Big Bro by killing Big Bro's character.
Yeah, like it's...
That ain't honor. I don't know who told you that's honor. Maybe it was Marvel. Maybe it was Ryan. Maybe you came up with that shit on your own.
Yeah.
But you're wrong. And anyone that thinks like you is wrong. We don't bury fantasy characters. It's never been done.
It's never been done.
It's never been done. This is unprecedented. This is the only time that this has ever happened.
Like, literally, like, Tony Stark died and there's already rumors coming, like, you know, circulating that he's coming back to MCU. You know what I mean? That Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to MCU. So it's like, these characters don't die.
No. These are fantasy characters. They don't die.
They don't die. And you guys literally buried him.
Yeah, bro. So it's just like, that's what I wanted to say on this. That's what I wanted to say on what JoBlo had to say. I also wanted to address the numbers one more time because, again, numbers don't lie. There are people out there that are going to tell you different, but numbers don't lie. So I just wanted to come in and get that off my chest today about Recast. Say those things as always. So,
yeah,
like I always say, question is for you. Let us know down below in the comments what you think. Do you think that the numbers are wrong, you know, like some, or are you happy to see other credible trades and insiders and other people starting to wake up to realize, nah, this ain't it.
This is not it.
And again, if you're on the Recast side, I'm not telling you your feelings aren't valid. You can feel how you want to feel. But again, keep your Twitter fingers to your damn self. Don't come in here on no misinformation. Don't come in here trying to tell us I'm wrong or I'm this or that. We can have a conversation. But don't come in here on that bullshit. Make sure you know what the fuck you talking about. That's all I got to say on it. So let us know down below in the comments what you think.